I'm not great.
Welcome to the Menopause Women Show for Nutrition, Health and Wellness. I'm Michelle, and as a menopause coach, I work with women to transform their hormone health and well-being to achieve the life they want to achieve. On this podcast, I share research findings on hot topics, talk with other holistic healers, and share my own experiences to empower women to take steps to a better lifestyle. Now, this week I am super excited. We have Leanne with us. Leanne is going to share with her menopause journey and how the impacts of perimenopause and menopause has driven Leanne to fill a critical gap of the need for a supplement that not only elevates um, your body, it alleviates menopausal symptoms. It addresses weight management and hence the birth and the success of Bodhi. Now, I do hope I have pronounced that correct. So, without
Yes.
further ado, I will welcome Leanne to the show. So, welcome. It is a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, Michelle. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, before we get into some specifics, would you like to share with us and our listeners and viewers, because it's available on YouTube, a bit more about your journey and what has led you to where you are today?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. And absolutely, it is Bodhi supplements. In terms of my journey, so I started off getting symptoms when I was 30 years old. So typically, especially because that was 14 years ago, it was very much a case of we didn't really know what it was. So I had really bad, we now know to be perimenopause symptoms, for around about 8 years. And it was things like insomnia, which I'm sure a lot of people can also get within perimenopause. Insomnia, acne boils. I had rashes on my arms, which is quite a common symptom. Really, really achy legs. Um, just really, really horrendous symptoms constantly. So throughout that period of time, I was going to the doctors, like I was exhausted, I couldn't sleep. I was still working throughout all of this as well, and obviously not knowing.
Mm.
So I eventually, they didn't think that it would be perimenopause, so I wasn't necessarily tested for it. And then as I was sort of leading up to around about 38, they then did my hormones, and then they were like, oh, so you're about to go into postmenopause. You're going to stop your periods within about 12 months. And I was like, what?
Oh, that's quick.
Yeah, really quick. I was already there. I'd already gone through that perimenopause kind of period, and it was a long time for me.
Mm.
And then literally by the clock, exactly 12 months after that, my period stopped. And that's when I was 40
Oh,
years old.
wow.
So I'm 44 now. So for 4 years, I've been in postmenopause. So I basically, as soon as I kind of knew what it was a little bit like a light switch. I was like, oh, well, at least now I can kind of understand that's why I was like this, because I was so down. I was just very, very tired. I was exhausted. I just couldn't understand. I wasn't myself. Not for the whole time, but like for periods of the time. So that's why I was like, oh, okay. Well, at least I know what it is now. And I can kind of work with what I know about it. So I did tons and tons of research into it. I
Mm.
tried so many supplements, and that's kind of like where this came from. And then some of them worked, some of them didn't, some of them I was like, but for me as well. But I then also did a lot of research into for but not just for personally for me, but for menopause and perimenopause as a whole. So
Mm.
some things that might help other people, but necessarily might not have helped me on that. But yeah, because it's obviously everybody's symptoms are so different. So
Well, everybody's menopause journey is very unique. Like yourself, I completely kind of ignored the perimenopause. I was way too busy. And then it
yeah,
hit me like a baseball bat on when I was 45. And then when they
right,
told me, I was like, oh, okay. And then you kind of
exactly.
like, and then you're like me, very much research basis. I was like, okay, well, once you know a diagnosis, I'm very much, okay, what can you do to fix it? What can we do to
Absolutely.
control it? And that's the way forward. Now, we're going to focus on the supplements because the supplement industry is growing and it absolutely makes millions.
Yeah.
And if I want to start with really understanding why women may need supplements and why they might help the menopause symptoms, and I'm asking you this question because obviously I'm a nutritional therapist, as well as a fitness coach, etc. And nutrition plays a big part in menopausal symptoms. It's a very much a holistic approach. But being the expert, how are you finding the supplements? Why do we need supplements?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people think maybe, oh, I don't need supplements. I get enough sort of nutrients from my food. And yes, obviously food does have a lot of nutrients in it and the right foods for yourself. But there is big gaps in that. So women may not always get the essential nutrients, especially during menopause. Because basically it increases the demand for specific nutrients. So, for
Mm,
example, especially bone health within menopause, as you know, we're at high risk of osteoporosis, especially within postmenopause, due to the decreased estrogen levels. Vitamin D supplements as well are always really crucial for maintaining bone health. So, things
yeah.
like that, yes, you will get it in your foods, but it's really, really good to supplement that. It's kind of like a preventative. And then supplements can also help with boosting overall health, energy levels, immune function, and that's really important for like an active lifestyle. So we sort of say within menopause, it's really important to exercise and go to the gym. And I don't know if I've certainly for me, I was just so tired that I couldn't even think about getting up and going to the gym. So if I can supplement to give myself more energy, I'm then going to be able to go to the gym and then I'm going to feel better about myself. It's going to help my mental health. So it's just that kind of boost that and that you kind of may not necessarily 100%, but this is why I always think that supplements are really worthwhile. And then obviously from specifically for menopause, you've got if your symptoms are hot flushes, which mine were, especially at night sweats, I would be constantly waking up dripping wet. Sorry, that sounds horrible, but yeah, very hot sweats.
No, absolutely. I have a thermometer leg. So I get really hot in the night and then I have to
Yeah.
stick my leg out and
Oh,
that
I
cools me
always have to
down.
have my leg
Yeah.
out and the
It's
covers and the window open. Even now, I still have to have that.
and I thought it was just me until I listened to somebody else and they said, "Oh no, I have a thermometer leg as well."
Yeah, I have the literally the covers half on. But yeah, so the hot flushes, night sweats, things like sage leaf, which is really, really good for helping that, which is completely natural and it just helps to kind of um help with those flushes. And then obviously if you are looking specifically for menopause, things like maca root, ashwagandha, which really helps your energy, and Siberian ginseng, mood, energy, kind of, and just basically boosting those kind of side effects that you may have.
Mm, which is beautiful. Um, but I think that, that follows on with something I wanted to focus on because obviously, um, we've talked about energy levels, and a lot of people don't have a lot of energy. That didn't really play in my part because I'm an athlete. I'm a training athlete. So
Yeah,
it's like even though mine was very much sore joints and the tiredness, and then like the emotions. But
yeah,
what are the most recommended supplements for women that you would recommend? Because you covered a few, but we just
yeah,
be a bit more specific. And then
absolutely.
I suppose really the follow on from that, because what then led you to select a specific combination and which menopause symptoms did you in that combination specifically targeted?
Yeah, sure. So in the beginning part of that, so recommended supplements for women in menopause. So I mentioned a few, but I'll just list them there. So you've got like vitamin D, really important, vitamin C, vitamin B6, vitamin K2. So all of the
Yeah.
vitamins are going to help.
So just to sort of interrupt there, vitamin D is for anybody that doesn't live in the a hot country, particularly if you're in the UK because we don't get enough sunshine. Um,
Absolutely.
C, B6, and BK12. Did you just say?
Vitamin
Um,
K2.
yeah, K2. They're all related to brain function, but also, and the reason I know this is because obviously I've done my research, and looking at the foods, and my son has pyrrole disorder, but but it's related to the brain function. The brain function also then controls our emotions and the symptoms that we then experience. So this, for the listeners and for the viewers out there, this is really key. Just to say about these vitamins, yes, you can get them in certain fruits and vegetables, but again, the way they're grown in the country or processed to get to like the shops and that, we're losing the quality. So we need to really
Yeah.
home in on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. That was a brilliant explanation for that. Also magnesium is really great to help you sleep, and for it's calms your calms down sleepiness. But with magnesium, I would say to have that as a single supplement as opposed to having it in a multi supplement, because you can't get the amount really in a small capsule with a multi supplement like Bode. You want to have enough of magnesium for it to kind of be worthwhile. So I did look into having that because it's so important to have, but the amount that would have been in it to fit into the capsules, because this is what you've got to look at when you're creating a multivitamin, it would have been a waste. You wouldn't have had any benefit from it. So I didn't include it, but I also take that as a separate supplement.
Yeah. And I can relate to that. So magnesium, and again, we'll probably come on to this about the quality.
Yes.
Um, so magnesium is something I take as a separate, not necessarily for sleep. It's for sore joints,
Yes.
and I get it in a plant-based powdered form because it's more absorbable into your bloodstream, and taking effect. And I think this is something we'll probably touch on in a moment of how best to get, what's the quality, what's the type to get into your system to have the full benefits. Sorry for
Yeah.
interrupting there again.
No, that's fine.
Make a good
Absolutely.
team.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm loving this. Thank you so much. And then for menopause specifically, which I have mentioned a little bit there, but maca root really is a natural ingredient that will help with energy, mood, hormones, balancing those hormones. That's what we need within when we're in that perimenopause, menopause stage, because we're like this, our hormones.
Right, so
Um,
maca mac maca
maca root.
macaroot. Sorry, I thought you said macaroo, and I was like, I'm sure it's macaroot.
It's macaroot. Hope my Wi-Fi is okay and it's not going to keep catching. Yeah, no, macaroot. Um, ashwagandha, which
Yeah.
probably you've heard about. So with Bodhi, I use KSM 66 ashwagandha, which is the best ashwagandha in the world. It's what it's their branded ashwagandha, and it's certified, so you get a certificate to be able to show that you're using KSM 66. So that's really important to get a good, again, the quality of the ashwagandha. That's going to help with stress, anxiety, energy, sleep, cognition. And then sage leaf I mentioned, which is very, very good for night sweats,
Mhm.
irritability, fatigue, and that also helps mood swings as well. So they're all kind of complementing each other in the kind of multivitamin supplement. And in
So
terms, sorry,
go
the
on.
yeah, the end bit, the which menopause supplements are targeted. So with all of those that I've mentioned and all of the kind of the additional smaller that are in there, like the black pepper, turmeric, dandelion root, but all of these are going to help with hormone balance, regulating mood, enhancing cognitive function, boosting energy, hot flashes, brain fog, detoxification, dandelion root, and also obviously bone health, which was mentioned with the vitamins there, K2. Um, Promoting bone and cardiovascular health. I'm going to slow down.
Yeah.
And contributing to hair, skin, and nails. So biotin is really good for that,
Mm.
which is in there. The thing with biotin is going to help, because what I found personally with menopause was my hair was really thin. It
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily that I was losing it. Some people say that they lose their hair, like it was coming up, but mine was just really, really fine and thin. It's like I must have lost it, but I didn't physically see it coming out. Very, very fine. So biotin and also aiding in weight management. So there we go. We've got things like chromium that are going to help with that. MCT, which is coconut oil that has
Mhm.
can help to curb cravings. So all of those different elements into sort of one supplement can help all of those different areas.
It's sounded great, because it's unfortunate, and it's the thing that I say isn't possible. There is no one magic pill for
No,
menopause. And it's a combination that works for you, because everybody's a unique journey. However, what you've done is you've taken the key ones and gone, okay, this is the most beneficial that we found across the board.
yes,
And equally, from my research on diet and nutrition, if you look at Japanese and Mediterranean women, they hardly suffer any symptoms at all. And that's a combination of doing Tai Chi, herbal, nutrients, good nutrition. So it's fascinating, because you've taken the good, and the ones that we know have worked for centuries, and we're
yes,
going back centuries, because all of this stuff was around, and they used them in, before we even knew more about menopause. And menopause is a big hot
yeah,
topic that's come together more so this year.
yes,
So that is beautiful what you've done. I think the next thing, though, is that what we need to sort of perhaps address is, because the industry is so high, and a few people have come to me and asked, oh, what multivitamin, or what you do this and with this, and then about what is safe and high quality.
yes. Absolutely. Now, this was my main goal when I created Bodhi, because basically I was taking supplements and I didn't really even know what was in them at the
Mm,
beginning. Like I was just like, oh, this looks good. It's for menopause. Then when I actually started to research it a little bit, I was like, the amount of the ingredients was very, very low. So it's going to be really unlikely that it's going to make that much impact. Like it
mm,
might maybe make a little bit of an impact, but it was quite low, and a lot of them had fillers in them,
mm,
bulk and ingredient, and I was like, and especially because it's something that isn't necessarily written all over a bottle of supplements. You have to kind of really look to see if there's fillers and stuff like that. So my whole ethos for this was, I want it to be completely natural, I want it to be completely clean, no additives, and made with really high quality ingredients. So I actually worked with a company in the UK which are sort of specialists in clean supplements. So they obviously are able to make the supplements without any fillers. So which is great, which is what I wanted. So in terms of when if you was a consumer trying to find one, how you'd find that, I mean, vitamins and natural supplements are generally safe. So that's the first thing. You can take pretty much any supplement, multi-supplement with vitamins or ashwagandha, maca root. They're generally safe. You shouldn't have any problems from taking them. Um, obviously, unless you've got an allergy, and obviously all allergies are on there, so you just check that section. In terms of the quality assurance, so you're going to be looking for non-GMO. So choose
mhm,
supplements that are non-GMO, so that they're free from genetically modified
mhm,
organisms. So natural purity. And GMP standards is the one that the company that I worked with. So it's called Good Manufacturing Practice Standards. So
mhm,
it will be GMP standards. So you'll see that on a company's website if it's made to GMP standards. You'll see if they're non-GMO on the website, because they'll say that they'll highlight that it's non-GMO, GMP.
mm,
And with regards to the fillers and additives, I would always say to opt for supplements without unnecessary fillers. So and check the ingredients list. Now, with the any sort of bottle of supplements, you're going to have the nutritional facts
mhm.
on the right hand side, which is going to list all of the ingredients and the amount. The amount's also really key. So if it's
Yep.
got like 5 milligrams or something like that, or 1 milligram, obviously that's quite low. So you want it to be a little bit higher, so that it's potent and pure enough that it's going to help. And then on the left hand side of the label, it's got very, very small, which is can sometimes be a problem. You might need to get your torch, but it will list every single ingredient. And if there's
Mm.
filler in it, it has to be listed on that side. It
Mm-hmm.
might not be on the right hand side in nutrients because it doesn't have to go there, but it has
No.
to go on the left. So that's what really worth checking if you are looking at a supplement and you want to know if it's clean. And if
The other thing that I'd like to add to that is, and this is going again more so of the body and the absorption, is that I tend to find that the plant-based ones
yeah,
are a lot easier. So again, you're looking at the quality of the plant-based is a lot
yeah,
easier to find, but it also absorbs better into,
yes. Absolutely, yeah. That's what you're going to be looking for. And also, obviously, you want to make sure that it's going to be making a difference for you
yeah.
because people might pay, say, £15. Oh, this is cheap. This is a really good supplement.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's not really got a huge amount
Huge
in
amount.
it, or it might not be perhaps at really high end quality. So from obviously everyone's different, and for me personally, I would prefer to have those kind of clean, higher potency
Yeah.
ingredients.
100%. This is, to me, this has been absolutely amazing and very informative. And I've, so for everybody listening, I have actually tried and tested your
Yeah,
supplement range, and I have noticed a difference. Now, just to go back, is I've tried many brands. I'm a typical, I would say, menopausal women. I work full time. I
yeah,
coach. I'm an athlete myself, and I am a parent of two neurodiverse children.
yeah,
My husband's an athlete. So all of my roles is I start off with, oh, I've got a bit of brain space in the morning because I'm doing some exercise. I come home, quickly shower and change, ready to go and be mum, get the kids off, to then go and be who I am at work, to then come back
yeah,
and do a load of different roles. And so it's really important for me, for a number of reasons, to have good nutrition and also good supplementation. And everybody is unique. Okay, so what works for some people will not work for others. And what we have done today, I think, is beautiful because I know that I won't be going back to some of the high street brands because, again, I'm another one. And my husband goes, "Oh my God, you're joking? How much?" And I'm going,
yeah,
"Well, yeah, but I then have to buy this one, and then I have to buy this one."
yeah,
And by which time he's glazed over and just goes, "What?" So because you've done such a unique blend, I think it is value for money. It is worth a try. And
yeah,
equally, as we've talked about, this is the time, if you're still not convinced, these are the types of things you need to look for. But
absolutely.
more importantly, I think where can people find you if they want to give it a try? And is there
Yeah.
an introductory offer? And of course, for everybody, I will include all contact details and any promotional codes in the show notes.
Yes. Okay, brilliant. So absolutely, thank you. And I'm really glad that you're sort of seeing the benefits from Bodhi as well. And I just want to address something you said there as well. Like we women that are menopausal, we feel so rubbish that we just want something that's going to help. And this is thing. And I was absolutely the same. I would
Yeah,
buy literally everything and then I'd be like trying that for a month and then I'd
yeah,
try the next one for a month. And I think with that as well, to mention that consistency is key. So
key.
try and stick to try and something for at least sort of 3 months to really sort of reap the benefits. It does sort of start to show after a couple of weeks, but
Well,
yeah,
it's like with anything, you start with one, and this is what's one baby step you can do today. You keep on doing that for 30 days, and that becomes the habit. And
absolutely,
then that's when you notice the difference. So if you've got a particular goal, you go, okay, what's the first step to get to that goal?
yeah,
And then you keep going and you go, okay, that's fine because I've now put that in my routine and I can
yeah.
see the benefit. And then you go to the next thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you for that. I just want to say, because I also did that, but I was also buying every single one and trying everything because you just want to feel better. So it's very, very normal to do that. And then in terms of where you'll find us, so the website for Bodhi is www.bodhi, which is BOHDI
Ooh,
dot co dot u BOHDI
BOHDI.
uk because you can also spell it BODHI, which could be challenging if you're just trying to find it on the Google. The Instagram and TikTok is Bodhi underscore supplements. So BOHDI underscore supplements for Instagram and TikTok. And it's also on Facebook, which is just Bodhi Supplements. And we do have a Bodhi Supplements menopause group, a private menopause group. So feel free to join that. There's lots of insights and information, kind of stats, lots of different questions, and people just having general conversations in there as well. So feel free to join that.
And that is important because I've talked on other podcasts about menopause, and one of the things is creating that community. So,
Yes.
because a lot of us feel alone, I
Yeah.
I
100%.
obviously help and support the menopause support community at my corporate job role. I do go
Yeah.
and do talks at other corporate job roles, but this is really important that actually, if you do feel alone and you don't know where to start, perhaps join this, support group and just
Yes.
find out a little bit of tips, and what works for some people won't work for others, but it's where you generate the ideas.
Absolutely. And even if you're having a bad day and you're like, oh, has anyone else not slept at all for the last 2 days? Everyone's like, yeah, I haven't. It just, yeah, it's just, we're all in the kind of same boat, and it's just good to have that community. Absolutely. And then in terms of offers, for yourself, we are going to give a promotional offer, which is 15% off of the first order. So the code that we will need to use is Michelle15. So it's your code for your listeners, for your to try. But yeah, so obviously also if there's any questions about any of the ingredients or anything, anyone can just DM me, message me, and I'll get straight back to you.
Oh, that's beautiful. And thank you
Michelle
so much for
15.
yeah, Michelle 15 for all your listeners. Do give it a try. So I want to just close by saying thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you for everybody taking time to listen and watch today. And more importantly, if you feel that somebody you know could benefit from hearing this, then please share the link. And I would be tiny and grateful if you could subscribe to the show and leave us a review, because it helps more people like you find the show. Now, if you'd like to connect with me to discover how my programs support you in the menopause journey with three core pillars of nutrition, movement, and lifestyle, then please book a free discovery call via my website, which is michellewells.co.uk. And also, if you head over there and sign up, you will get my free ebook to get you started. So until next time, my friends, smile and thrive, and thank you.
Thank you so much.